Welcome to Ride for Rights. Ride for Rights is a bike tour across America. I'm riding town to town in hopes that people will join me, come together on the four rights of freedom of speech, justice, education, and unity. If you'd like to come ride with me, check the schedule in the comments and see when I'm near your town. In addition, Ride for Rights promotes FIRE, Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, the Southern Poverty Law Center, the American Immigration Council, and the American Library Association. They need your help, and please consider donating. Hey guys, we're in Waseon. We're heading to Fremont, Ohio today. So I looked up the route. That Wabash Cannonball trail, it starts being paved 8 miles from here. So we're gonna ride 8 miles through country roads, get to back on the trail, and then that takes us to the Canal Trail in Perrysburg, which is essentially a Toledo suburb. We're not gonna go to Toledo, it's too out of the way. And this is already gonna be a 65-mile day. We get over the Maumee River, out of Perrysburg, and then we take the Intercoastal Trail, which will take us most of the way to Fremont. So it's gonna be about like 50-50 roads to trails today. We're gonna be in the city limits of Fremont, but we're kind of north. We'll actually go through the town tomorrow. The bike trails are mostly old rail trails. It should be incredibly flat today, just long, and hopefully the weather holds out. We'll see. All right, see you there. All right, here's me realizing I went the wrong way, and we're gonna turn around now, and then I'm gonna continue to go the wrong way and take a left back towards Waseon. So I'm actually gonna be heading west right here, and we'll end up more west than I actually started, so that's wonderful. So eventually I'll figure out, turn around, and we'll end up taking some of the dirt trail of the Wabash Cannonball Trail to get back on track. I was trying to avoid this because right now there's actually a surplus of deer in the area, and they're carrying a new breed of tick that has Lyme disease through Indiana and Ohio. I was checking my legs for ticks every night. Anyway. Day 73, forgot to film the outro because I was exhausted. I started out in Waseon, went the wrong way pretty much immediately, and went a mile back and far enough where I was actually west of the starting point, which was not good, along the Wabash Cannonball Trail. I took the Cannonball Trail. It was dusty and unpaved for one of the short legs, about a mile and a half, and then it was paved for the rest of the way we went on it, which was a fairly decent amount of time. We cut off that to go north to get over the Maumee River because there was limited bridges to go over there. Cut south by a truck stop that was pretty busy, then went southeast. Finally got to Genoa, Ohio, where we connected with the Inland Coastal Trail. I stopped for quite a while at one of the stops. It was a long day, so it turned out to be over 70 miles. It was supposed to be 64. Overall, not the best day. But yeah, tomorrow's on to Vermilion, Ohio, so we're going to take the Intercoastal Trail for a little while and hopefully see Rutherford B. Hayes' home and Thomas Edison's home. So it should be a pretty exciting day, and then we get the drone back. See you guys tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my socials and the charity links in the comments below. Thanks for watching.